Okay, so gonna do this tutorial today. Gonna try to make it as thorough as possible. It's a new build. It's a little bit different than what we usually do because it's pretty rough on the outside, but the inside is actually pretty beautiful. I already shot that. It's out in Berthoud, kind of out here in the flatlands, but close to the mountains. I actually waited to do the drone work afterwards because there's some clouds covering up the snow caps that we had. We had a recent snowfall, and I wanted to make sure those mountains were popping. And one thing to know is today I opened up my drone and I didn't have an SD card in there. So it's important to have an SD card. Backup SD card. We use the SanDisk Extreme Pro. It's a black and red card. If you don't have that card, I suggest getting two of them. So you have one in your drone and one backup just in case you do forget it in your laptop or your computer when you're uploading the night before. I think it's the first time it's ever happened to me, but I do keep an extra one because and during beta we had some experiences with that, and if you have to go run to the store, Best Buy, you know, the True Value in Estes Park definitely doesn't have it. They don't have the fast cards that you need to really do what it takes to record the 4K or the 2.7K 60 frames a second. And I have some really cool footage on here. You see here some Estes Park elk. There's a bunch of elk out there, so I'm gonna go through and delete a bunch of these videos. This project's already been released. Looks like I had a fair amount of stuff on there, but since I only have my backup card and I have some footage on there I do not want to get rid of, this is an alternative way to do it. Ultimately, if you run out of space, you want to be doing a full reformat. I think one thing that came up recently was that reformatting actually gets your card ready for the drone, formats it, the folders and things like that with things that the drone needs to do that. If you have a brand new card, make sure you format it, because if you do not, it will not take the pictures. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and just get the videos. Actually, I'm just gonna, just for time's sake, since we are recording this, I'm just gonna go the really long videos. Did some really cool stuff downtown, Fort Collins. Had some longer ones. See, this one's 2 minutes, 29 seconds. And this shoot's not gonna have any really long video capture. It's gonna be a pretty standard shoot, so. Here's a long one. Look at that shot. Down in the city. It's beautiful. It does have quite a bit of footage on it, but so I've gotten rid of all the long stuff. Here's a minute one. Get rid of that. So I've deleted about 5 minutes of video, so I know that got a good amount here. Let's just check our SD card. Say we have 25 gigs, which is more than enough for a shoot, and I've saved the footage that I have not uploaded for Estes Park. There's a bunch of elk out in the lake and things like that. I could actually show you if you want. Today is a bit of a slower day. It's a Saturday actually, so this one's still at construction going. All right, we'll not show that. We'll just get to work here. So there's still some, you'll see some stuff out there covering the driveway as a fresh pour, some things like that. Let's check out all of our stats. We're on auto ISO, 2.760 frames per second. Auto white balance, we are saving to the SD card. Now let's switch over to our HDR mode. It's an auto ISO, auto white balance JPEG, 16.9. This one really likes to change, but it hasn't really been changing on me lately, so maybe it's learned or something like that. All right, let's take off and get started. Another reason I wait is because there's a lot of backlighting on this one. You see it looks like pretty shadowy right now. But it's actually a lot better than it was because the sun was just blasting behind it when I started, so it is good to wait. This one has kind of a corner front, I guess. So let me get kind of an extreme one out here. You know, porta potties aren't that great. Try to crop that out. Try to make the house look sexy. And again, we did get all of the shots from the ground with the Matterport. We just want to give Pose as much stuff to work with as possible, but also crop out as much as possible. You're starting to see that stuff covering the driveway. See if we can crop it out and kind of make it look as nice as possible. It'd be nice to have that front curve in there, but looks like there's some it looks like police tape, like a crime scene or something like that, so I couldn't imagine anyone really desiring that in the pictures. You know, we have a tractor in the background. Let's get another one that doesn't have a tractor. Post can take that tractor out if need be. Another note is I'm parked across the street, so I have a good hiding spot. Great thing about the drone is we can kind of go in here and fly. There's some cool mountains appearing on the backside there. And I have some gimbal falling there. Take that one again. Getting some more mountains in here. Getting that gimbal drop again. This gimbal had a fall. I've readjusted it. It just it's actually, I think it's a defect in the remote control. Upon purchase, it actually had a wheel that was, you know, the top left wheel that spins the gimbal. So this is why I waited till the end of the shoot, was those mountains. See those white caps back there, having the contrasting ones. The front mountains there you can actually see are still under the shadows. But those white caps are getting hit by the sun, and they are just popping. There is a tractor over here, so I'm gonna be aware of that when I fly. Face the drone that direction so I can see. The big picture one, just in case I need it. Post can take the whatever that is, the trailer and a porta potty, the ever so desirable porta potty. All right, so this house has kind of like 3 sides to it. Typically, we have 2-sided houses. This one has 3 because the garage is on the side. So I'm gonna get it up a little bit so I can see that beautiful mountain range back there. Just over the top of the roof. And this is what really distinguishes us, you know, if you're talking about the photography part from a typical photographer, because they're on the ground, they're so limited. I mean, just absolutely limited compared to how we can move this drone around different heights and around the place, whether there's a cliff there or there's a lava pit. We could fly right over it, and you know, just as a dramatic example, we could get wherever we need to get the proper framing of that house. So just to kind of go over the protocols there, I do all my HDRs first, going all the way around the house. You know, kind of have a close-up of the house and then a far back one. This one I didn't do any really dramatic far back ones because the mountains are kind of really easy to frame into it, and there aren't a lot of houses around, so I was able to really kind of frame it all really well just by being close to it. But other houses, there are a lot of trees, things like that. You have to start to kind of really get some distance back there to frame that shot in really well. So just like how we do at the end we'll do the circle arounds in video, you do that same thing in the HDR. You do the close circle around, that's all about the house, and then you do the farther circle around, that's all about the view. This one I was able to combine it pretty well because of it not having a bunch of trees kind of distracting it. But that's how I think about it when I do the HDRs, is that double circle around we do in video, pointing down at the house and then out with the view. And also at the end when we do the circle around, I'll put it into HDR to possibly, if I see a shot, I'll let it circle around again, stop it, and then take that HDR. If there is just like a really unique thing, like if I spot a lake way off or anything like that. You know, I'm parked across the street, hiding from the drone. Just makes it so that I can be out here in the middle of a field, literally. Nothing for miles around, and there's no, you know, gawkers out there looking at the drone. So, look, there is a lake out there, so it might be cool to, it's not a huge lake, but we'll definitely fly over there for the peripherals. It's a new neighborhood. There's just so much construction going on. Just, you know, these little spots where you wouldn't think anyone would be building a house, and you see these $1 million houses out here, pretty far off of the city grid. They're out here in farmland basically, and they're building a lot out here, so it's been pretty interesting. There's a much better lake over here on this side that is not frozen over, and we'll be able to fly much closer to that. It looks like there's lakes on all sides of this thing. Very nice. All right. Okay, so this one is where we'll do the annotations and things like that. And I'm gonna go do the peripherals now. And just a reminder, I do save the, there's that lake I was talking about. I save the last pano for the front of the house, which in this case there will be 2. I'll do in front of the garage and then in front of the front door. But I save those for last, just to keep me on track as far as how I'm shooting everything. Oh, here's a park. Down here, get this park. So we'll take HDR picture of it. And I do the picture first because it frames it up very nicely. And then switch over to video. And start going forward and down. Just a little something like that. Doesn't have to be anything too wild and crazy there. Because we are optimizing our videos to be nice and short but impactful. So try to get them all under 90 seconds. Switch it back to that. I hear these farmlands, sometimes these pilots will fly pretty low. I see one's kind of coming down here. It's pretty rare that a pilot's gonna be, you know, down at 400 feet, but in these flatlands, it just seems like they're so low. Take another picture from this direction because the other side had the lake there, so I took that picture, but I do like having the pictures framed by the mountains. I'm gonna go ahead and do kind of a nice swoop into here. Okay, get a little bit closer to that park. Since we don't have a whole ton of peripheral stuff around here other than farms and that lake. There's another lake, it's pretty far over there. I'm not gonna really fly over to it. This one was even farther than I thought it was. Again, use this map to really see where your home is. See, I'm just outside of the airspace there. And we'll come back down here. Looks like they're getting the trailer out of the way. Switch it back to picture. So just to buy it, this is a 1-story. It does have a basement, but you know, up at those upper peaks there, kind of gets you up enough to kind of look around a little bit. Again, we've already shot the ground with the Matterport, and then this is basically like a 2 front-sided house. So we got the back. We're gonna get the 2 front sides now, the garage side and then the front door side. I think that's actually the builder there, the guy that's picking up the trailer. Again, this is what it is. This is actually the second time I've been out here. We were out here, we had a VR Tech out here yesterday, and they canceled the shoot because there was just stuff all over the yard. But the foreman guaranteed me that this is as good as it's gonna get today, and that the realtor wanted to get a shot. So it is what it is. We may come back if the house doesn't sell right away. May come back and do a touch-up exterior drone shoot. We'll see. All right, let's get over here to the front yard, front door. All right. Hello, sir. Can we wait on that? Huh? Can we wait?
How long?
15 minutes.
I gotta cover that into the driveway. Can I do that?
I'm shooting it for the real estate. How's it going, by the way? Brad Curtis.
Jim Golden.
Jim Bolden. Nice to meet you. Yeah. So I finished up the inside virtual reality tour, doing the external virtual reality tour. I know it's kind of rough out here already, but I've done all the pictures and all that stuff. All I have to do is the video. So the video is actually not too bad. What I do is I do a zoom in, a pan in the back, and then I do a couple circle around. So I could probably do it in like 10 minutes if I'm really pushing it.
Yeah, no, so you got to do the whole driveway then too. Huh?
Yeah, we're doing the whole house, so it sees everything. But
Yeah.
if we could kind of just keep it what it is. I mean, I already shot it with that kind of covered up. We, forget what his name was, but one of the construction guys was here earlier. He was like, hey, it's kind of as good as it's gonna get, So I was like, all right, well, let's do it. But I'm almost done, and the driveway is pretty. That entranceway is pretty cool aspect of it, but the front door,
I'm just gonna stuff this stuff over here.
Yeah, even though it's dark, we could just kind of toss it there and it'd be fine. Just kind of keeping this cool, You gotta cover it for the snow.
Well, yeah, I poured it yesterday, so it's gotta.
Yeah, it's gotta sit.
Last night wasn't too bad as far as the coldness,
Yeah.
but the next 2 or 3 nights is. So the idea is, still got water in it, it'll freeze. So.
Yeah, hardened up pretty good.
In 3 days.
But this is. I took a concrete class. It was like a 3-month course on it, so I'm kind of a geek on it a little bit.
Well, that's good. It advances your knowledge in the
Yeah.
real estate stuff.
I came from a technology world, and I sold my company about 3 years ago, and I got really bored, and I was like, I want to kind of get into real estate, so I wanted to learn more about it. So I got certified on the backhoe. I was telling them they're driving the skid steer around. I was like, hey, I got a certification from CDOT on the backhoe,
Nice.
So I got some like cool, like nerdy stuff, but it's just class,
Right.
It's not like real. I mean, the class is pretty real world experience, but it's not like,
No, yeah, no.
but
Yes, I know.
it gives me, an idea, I guess,
Right.
All right, let me get to this, and I'll change the battery so I'm nice and smooth. And I appreciate. Thanks, sir. All right, so we had a gentleman come and cover the concrete. So it's about to snow tonight. So the concrete was just poured yesterday, and so get this front panel that'll finish us off with the photography. Get up to a nice thing. Got into autofocus. Looks like it went back to the 30.2, so good reason to always check this stuff. So he's still over there kind of doing some stuff. We'll see. Sometimes you have to work with people that, their schedule is busy too. So his plan was to just kind of throw this stuff on and get back on with his day. Our plan is to get this done, get back on with our day. So gotta, make sure you're working with people, try to relate to them as much as possible. Again, I'm back hiding behind my car. And we've got a lot of cloud cover. Hopefully that stays, because what happens if you're doing the video and all of a sudden the lights pop out, our lens allows us to have like really good amount of light and everything, but if the sun pops out, then you've got a whole different color spectrum. Yeah, I did this side already. Cool. So do the video. Get those mountains there a little bit. Get a little horizon in there. And do our side swipe. I'm going to spin it a little bit. Oof. Do our side swipe over here. All right. Do our straight in. It looks like our gimbal is really, really crooked after that one. Looks like it's evening back out. So I'm gonna go in and up, the reveal being those mountains. Go do the same thing over here. Gonna do this one at an angle a little bit. I'm gonna start this one over here. Kind of crop out the truck as much as possible. All right, so kind of a three-sided house. It's a little bit different. Go up here. Let's get our point of interest going here. And it looks like we have our point of interest unlocked. Pick that as a corner. I always pick out a corner to start so that I know where to end the video. And you know, sometimes you can kind of pull it. If you're pulling during the video, it seems like with the new updates and things like that, the gimbal's not holding as well as it used to at one point. So get it pretty steady before you hit the record button, and just keeps that house looking like it's just on a top, you know. All right, so get out a bit, get some nice panels. So I'm gonna start from that corner. It's a pretty efficient pull because we don't have a lot of trees and things like that, and we're already pretty well set. So I'm gonna end it back at that corner with this one. So get it back around. I may actually let it go farther, just get a full, full mountain view for the post team. maybe starts, because this is where I started, so I'm gonna go a little bit past that so that the full mountain range is just complete, because it looks so beautiful. And bam, that completes our shoot. Hopefully it was entertaining and helpful. Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Appreciate it. It's a pleasure.
Pleasure.
Hey, the concrete looks beautiful, man.
Thank you.
Looks like you got a job. Looks like it couldn't hurt to have an extra man on.